A former state lawmaker from Bangor recently traveled to the Ukrainian border to help refugees fleeing the Russian invasion.
I sat down with Sean Faircloth to learn about his motivation for making the trip and what Mainers can still do to help.
Watching it, like a lot of people on the news, I was so struck by, here it is. I mean, it's almost a pure struggle of democracy versus an evil dictator. I mean, there's really no other way to phrase it. And I felt like, in America's history, although sometimes our image gets tarnished, I feel like there is something we're supposed to stand for, and that's democracy.
Sean Faircloth says the courage of President Vladimir Zelensky and everyday Ukrainian people inspired him to pack his bags and head for Europe at the end of March.
Frankly, sometimes we didn't treat the Ukrainians as we should have. And so here's a chance to stand up as an individual and volunteer.
Through social media, Faircloth connected with the nonprofit A Drop in the Ocean. Some days he worked with them in Poland, providing clothing to 1,000 refugees per day. Others he spent right on the Ukrainian border.
I mean, this guy, we just got a shopping cart, and we filled it up with mittens and coats and oranges and bananas and candy, and we wheeled it up to the border, get our passport stamped, and then the other side is a big, long line of Ukrainian folks waiting to get into Poland, and it's cold. And you're handing out stuff that really, it helps.
He says he hopes his experience leads more Mainers to consider making the trip themselves.
Unfortunately, what we're seeing is that this war is going to be going on for a while, and there may be more and more need for volunteers, not less. And so I hope people will consider, instead of that beach trip or instead of that hanging out doing nothing, that maybe you say, this time I'm going to do something, and it will be very meaningful.
For those who can't travel to Ukraine to volunteer, Faircloth says giving money is still a great way to help. He recommends donating right to A Drop in the Ocean. A link to do so can be found on our website.